Yoink. What's up? Let me make sure we can go on the. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, because last time I screwed up and you couldn't hear me. Yo, yo. Am I? Janice, I just finished I literally just finished a consult. So you guys looking for get a consult, 1 hour consult with me. I just finished a consult. I've been on meetings this morning, and then now I'm on a live. So if you're trying to get a hold of me, that's definitely why. So we're here. The secrets are consistent. Exactly. You caught the bait, and the bait was the clickbait title, because there are no secrets. There's just hard work, dedication, consistency, and that's it. Hey, I'm chasing you, man. 57 years old. I am looking to be in the best shape I can be by then. So you keep it up, brother. All of a sudden, for the eyes to say, PT specialized, awesome, man. There's never. I think the best thing to do when you have the time is to do, like, take a course and just learn even more what you're doing. I think it's the smartest thing ever. And you're never too old to learn at all. 6 weeks out, let's go. A show prep help if you could. Let me know. Give me some questions. 6 weeks out. Hey, coach, do you think I have a good genetics? I gained 14 kilograms 7 months without any supplements as 14 years. You're 14 years old and gained that much weight in 7 months. Yeah. 14 years old, man. Just keep working, man. Keep working. Good for you. Good for you. Like, yeah, I know, like, the genetic questions and comments and topics are always abroad, but, like, really, you just keep working your butt off, and that's it. But, like, 14 kilograms, that's what, over 30 pounds in a year? You're growing, dude. So keep it up. Keep working your butt off. I finished, man. I'm 5'3" at 17. You're not finished, man. Keep it up. Coach, not helpful. So it's 5 weeks. No, do not cut. It's okay. So prep. The 6 weeks your coach ain't helping you out, man. Hire me. We'll talk. I'm dead serious. When you're prepping, you don't want to start just cutting out calories. The a lot of the issues is when people prep is that they start cutting out fuel way too early. And a couple things are happening while you're prepping and going down in calories. Your body you're getting less and less energy to actually burn fat. So it's actually harder to burn fat later in prep. So you want to still keep in a good amount of fuel in terms of, like, carbohydrates, glycogen stores to help you, have more energy, keep your muscles more full, and, just burn calories overall. The more you cut your calories out, the less energy and fuel you have already to a slowing down machine. So you should, like, cutting out your carbs and stuff like that. It's like, that's why, like, when I try to give people help over, like, doing something like this, it's so vague because there's so much more to this than just, like, cutting calories. I've been coaching for over a decade in terms of, like, bodybuilding and whatnot, and it's a very individual thing. I have clients that are prepping right now that we have already made changes with. One of my client, Taylor, in the last, like, I would say 4 weeks of prep, we've made changes every single week, because this prep compared to last prep is different because he's put on 10 pounds of muscle since last year. So prep this year is a lot different. He's not losing fat as rapidly as fast as it was before because his overall muscle gain has been increased, meaning his overall need or energy needs are higher. So what used to be easy for him to burn fat right away isn't anymore. He's a 6 foot plus dude. He's, 260, was 265, 70 pounds. He's now 255. So there's more there. So I would say, if anything, keep your calories where they are, and then make sure that you're doing enough cardio right now. Don't overdo the cardio, meaning like you shouldn't be doing hours and hours of cardio. Um, so there's a lot more I need from you to really, really help you out. But as of right now, do not cut your calories out, your carbs out. I've lost 75 pounds since September, diet, fasting, lifting, running. I've reached plateaus a lot more recently. I've added more than 3 miles. Awesome, man. But I can't seem to break them up. Break up your running, reaching plateaus. Elaborate on that. 2 years ago, I was 360 pounds, got down to unreal. August started weightlifting. I'm now 252 pounds. That was the start. I am feeling whatever. 5 day a week. Good. So just some advice. Okay. So there's a couple times I've read this already right now that, and good for you guys for losing the weight. Absolutely awesome. Um, but make sure that when you're still on the pursuit to losing fat, you are putting more of an emphasis into building muscle. That's a lot of the reasons why a lot of people lose a lot of weight, and then they have a lot of loose skin. Their muscle is like sometimes non-existent. So like switch that focus. You put a lot of the work in already. Burning fat, like, just being consistent is the greatest tool you're gonna have. So now knowing that you can be consistent, put some of the energy way more into training and building muscle more so than anything else. And you'll still start losing fat and weight as well too. Fat more so than anything else. I need to reveal my abs. As I'm 6'1", 220 pounds, you 7. You want to keep the weight. So like I said, in that, like, that body recomp is there. So I would say, like, when you're there to, I would say don't overdo your cardio, but do enough that you're burning. If you're staying in like a 500 calorie deficit through your nutrition and your cardio, you should be able to continue to lose, fat at a good rate where you'll start seeing the abs. You just gotta be patient with it. But again, like, you know, training and building muscle, do core work. Now, I'm not saying do core work like abs so you can show your abs. I'm saying everybody has abs. If you're training your actual abs themselves, they build just like every other muscle in your body. So the leaner you get, the more pronounced they'll look. At the same time, the more muscle you build overall is gonna cause you to burn more calories. So as long as we keep the performance in the gym high, and you're regulating your calories in, you'll start seeing those results. Just things will slow down. Like the beginning part of losing the weight, that weight journey, that fat loss journey, is right away from just like changing, decreasing your carbs, for instance. Every gram of carb has 2 to 3 grams of water with it. So if I'm eating 100 grams of carbs, 200 to 300 grams of water are coming with that. So if I take 100 carbs and I'm eating 200 carbs, I've lost 2 to 300 grams of water. So you're going to see a big change at the beginning. Lots of change happens. And then the lower your body fat gets, the harder it is for that weight to come off, because your body doesn't want to go to a place where, listen, be honest, when it comes to like abs, your body, depending on what it looks like depending on that person, abs isn't always like the most healthiest thing that your body wants to achieve. So getting down to abs is going to get harder, but just takes more time. So just think about like letting that last bit of your journey, more patience, more muscle building. Don't go over the board with like cutting calories back. You need the fuel to build muscle. You need the fuel to burn fat, and then let things kind of consistently drop as you go. Don't just all of a sudden just like cut your calories out. Oops. What do you think about taking every set to failure? No, I don't think you take every set to failure. I think you're. But the reason why I say you don't need to take every set to failure, because the science says that you don't need to. Meaning anything, recent studies have shown that a 7-8 RPE, right, 2 to 3 reps in reserve is just as good as going to failure. So what failure does is, give me a sec. What failure does is it just puts more stress to the joints than anything else. So if you can get to that, that place of, 2 to 3 reps of failure, 7 to 8 RPE, that's good enough. So you don't have to go. It's not necessary. And that's my journey, guys. My journey is what is necessary to build muscle, what is necessary to get stronger, what is necessary to be more mobile and more functional. That's what I'm looking for always, right? What's the most you could do do the most necessary to your goals? And the failure isn't necessary. Take one step to failure for sure, not a problem. Break through my plateaus I've been reaching. Okay, so you're trying to break through those plateaus. Sometimes those plateaus are just waiting another couple weeks to let the body acclimate again and get down, to be honest. Ask me the question again so I can read up again. I bought a camera bar on the advice of one of Dr. Video's videos. The gains have been insane, but it's killing my shoulders. Want to keep using it. Any advice? So let me give you a reply that's very, like, to my experience. The camera bar is good for a good stretch. Now you can do the same thing with dumbbells, right? Because dumbbells allow you to kind of go down lower. And I've used some of those techniques before. Every time that I have went a lot lower, and my form and my control is pristine, my shoulder killed. Like after that, right? I find that there's like a law. There's always that law of diminishing returns, right? How much deeper in the stretch do you really need to go for muscle hypertrophy to happen? Now I understand that using a camera bar makes sense in terms of getting a lot deeper in that stretch, but like let's be serious. Like, here's my arm, right? Here. If the bar, do I got a bar here? I got a bar. I'm not gonna get it. Anyway, if I go like this, okay, I'm back like this, right? I can't get my arm past this. Now my chest is here and I'm a little bit below my chest. I can't get any more past that. How much lower do I really need to go? Like, do I need to really go, like, if the bar is touching my chest and I expand my chest, like if I'm doing this with my posture and the bar is here, there's a lot of a stretch there. Do I need to go even deeper for that? That's been a question of mine. Again, what is necessary? And every single time that I've tried going that much deeper, remember, I try things before I either rip on something or critique something. I try it myself. I find that it's like, I don't think it's that necessary. I think having a camera bar is good, and I think if it naturally puts you there, but like sometimes you got to think a couple of things too. Are you elevated as well too? Because if you're elevated and you got a camera bar, your back, your shoulders doesn't go that far back, right? And then loading it is gonna make it that much worse. So I take a step back, do the process of elimination, take it out of your workout for a bit and see how things go, right? I would say, like, you can get a lot of ground. You can make up a lot of ground by just having a good posture in your chest. And when you're coming down, think of doing like an inverted row more so than doing like, when I'm thinking about pressing on the way down, I'm thinking about doing an inverted row. I'm literally pulling the bar to my chest. I had to get a good stretch, and that's it. So there's my spiel on that. 3 sets versus 4 sets. What's better? It's not necessarily like how many sets more so than the entire amount of sets you're doing. So let's just say arbitrarily you're doing chest, right? And we know that between anything from like 6 to 12 hard sets in that muscle group that day is efficient, right? So 4 sets, 4 sets only really says to me that, is that just from what, what is that from? We have to look at the entire amount of sets in that day, right? So if you're like 3 or 4 sets total, I'd be like, not enough. If you're like 3 sets of one exercise, I'd be like, okay, if it's chest, add another 3 sets to that chest. Maybe it's in the form of another exercise. Maybe it's incline, then chest flies. There's 6 sets. Is 6 sets total better than 8 sets? Depends who you are. But 6 sets in total is kind of getting that minimum of what is required, right? Because if I did 6 sets today and did 6 sets of chest the next day, well, I've reached my quota in terms of like work, like, that 10 to 20 hard sets a muscle group a week, right? If we're trying to build muscle, right? So it's not the individual sets alone, it's the entire sets in the day, right? So if you're doing 3 sets of 3 exercises, those are 9 total sets. If I'm doing 3 exercises, 4 sets, those are 12 total sets, right? So think of that more so than just like the individual set. The individual set means nothing in the grand scheme of things. What matters is the entire sets as is. Someone just chopped up some dollar down there, and I gotta go down there and answer right away. Hi. Cool. Hi, Red. Appreciate you. I jumped all the way to the bottom, guys. So if you want me to answer these questions, go right back down, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. Hate chess, always struggled, but I'm 6'4" or 64, and today 210 on chess machine, which is brilliant for me, unreal. But I know it's a machine, but I stick with it. That's fine. It's guys. There's like, don't think of your body does a better job of making gains by the exercise that you enjoy the most, that you could progressive overload, that is going to give you a stretch. So if the machine gets you a stretch, check, great. If the machine or exercise you're enjoying and doing it, great. Can you progress on it? Great. Check all marks off. Awesome. Don't worry about I did 210 on the machine, but is that as good as doing 210 on free weight? You know what I mean? What matters is, are you doing the exercise right? Do you enjoy doing the exercise? Can you progressively load the exercise? And is it going to give you a good stretch? So stretch meaning like a lengthened contraction. Coach, if I'm sick, regular cold, but I was about to start a 200 calorie deficit, should I keep my plan and start deficit, or should I wait till I would? So like a regular cold, like, regular colds could turn into something else. So I would say like, keep your calories, let yourself recover. More so than anything else is the rest part. When you're feeling sick, is getting the rest. Obviously, like nutrition is gonna help out too, is when it comes to calories. But heal first, and then I'm gonna say that in anything you do, if your elbow's hurting, my wrist is hurting, my shoulder, I'm feeling under the weather, take your ass home. It's better that you miss that day and feel better so you can train again than elongate the process of recovery. Can protein consumed before a workout be utilized for muscle hypertrophy after? 100%. Here's the thing when it comes to protein that people aren't having this conversation. Protein is absorbed all day long. All day long. I forget exactly because I don't want to misquote anything, but to give you an example, when it comes to the fastest absorbing type of protein, I think is like whey, or maybe even like egg white. I think more so whey protein gets absorbed faster. It takes your body, I think, don't quote me wrong, you can look this up on your own, look it up in whatever, but regardless, I'm pretty sure it's like 4 hours or 8 hours to absorb a minimum amount of the protein itself, like gram wise. Like, so your body, taking, like, abstracting out the amino acids, the meal you ate this morning is still being absorbed right now. So if you had like, say, like 30, 40 grams of protein in the morning, you're still absorbing that protein, right? So if you had like, so again, like, yeah, you'll be using the protein from yesterday as well. So don't think too much on, there's your answer there, buddy. It can 100% be utilized for hypertrophy. The food you're eating, the calories you're eating, those are being used all day. The food you're eating yesterday is being used today. Appreciate you. Thank you. Going down to the bottom again. Guys, get your questions at the bottom. My bad. Going back to the bottom. Can I say something about dumbbell adduction rows? Good exercise, better alternate save for shoulders. Dumbbell adduction, man, you're it's a awesome dumbbell abduction rows. What is that? I've I'm thinking dumbbell abduction rows. So like abduction is gonna be like this. So horizontal abduction will be like this. The legs closing. Sorry, adduction is going away. My bad. Sorry, the opposite direction. So that for me, dumbbell abduction rows. Let me know what you actually mean by that. I don't want to give the wrong answer. Can I say something about dumbbell abduction rows? Yeah, please let me know what you meant by that. Because that's yeah, I don't know what that is. What kind of protein? What kind of protein? Any protein. All proteins are will be absorbed. Some proteins will absorb faster than others. Like if you're put it this way, if I gotta eat a piece of chicken, it's gonna take a lot longer to absorb than drinking egg whites or having a protein shake. I'm 5'9", 322 pounds. I work out 45 days a week, cardio and progressive overload. Any other suggestions? No, stick to that. Actually, my bad. Make sure that you're in a deficit that's not too extreme, right? You're 5'9", 320 something pounds, 22 pounds. That would be like, if you're trying to eat 1,500, 2,000 calories, like my advice for anybody, and this is for anybody watching, if you're already a big person, you know, size on you. I have clients that are in their 300s. Do not start eating hardly any calories. Your body needs to move around the weight that you have. Also, sustain everything else your body needs calories for. So, if anything in this journey, when you're starting off, best case scenario is that you're overeating. That is the best case scenario for anyone starting off a weight loss journey. Reason being is, let's just say like arbitrarily you're eating, I don't know, 4,500 calories. Let's say you're eating 5,000 calories, and the 5,000 calories is the reason why you're 22 pounds, right? That means now that I have a place to actually decrease calories from, and then it makes sense. I could take out 500 calories from food, add another 250 calories maybe from from training, and then I'm in a 750 calorie deficit. I'm burning maybe a pound and a half of fat a week, and then I'm working on building muscle. Great. What we don't want is I'm 322 pounds. In the last 2 months, I've been eating 1,500 calories, and now I can't lose any more weight. Where do we go? Right? Where do we go? For the most part, for anybody, when you're starting off on a fat loss journey, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. Number one, how much are you moving? Right? What is your lifestyle, and are you moving? For the most part, and we're not talking. We're gonna exclude anybody who has hormonal issues, any type of ailments where it is harder for you to lose fat. We're gonna take that away. For the most part, people are bigger, have more fat, obese, whatever you call it, because they're not doing enough exercise and they're taking in more food, right? Their calories out isn't as enough as the calories going in. So the best case scenario is ask yourself the question, how much am I moving? Right? If I'm not moving that much, my job is sedentary, I'm at the computer all day long, right? That's it. I don't do any cardio, and I need to lose fat. What you need to do right away isn't to take away your food at all. It's to start moving. Reason being is number one, you're not moving, right? So if you're overweight, you have a lot of subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that's it's basically under your skin between your muscle and your skin. Then we have a lot of visceral fat. That's the fat that's around your organs, right? We want to get rid of that fat by not starving ourselves, but by moving, right? Because the heart's got to work harder. We want the heart to work a lot harder in a optimal way to start burning calories. And then when your body's, I just suggest again, go to the gym, start doing little, low, list cardio, low impact, steady state cardio, and start training to build muscle. And then once you see things starting to come off, then we start, hey, let's let's take away some calories, right? For the first part, when it comes to your nutrition, is just like changing what you're eating, number one, right? Let's start off there first. Let's just like, if you're eating 4,500 calories and that got you, to your size, let's change what that 4,500 calories is. Let's change the items. Let's make sure they're good whole foods, good proteins, fiber, fats. Then you have some carbs in there as well too, right? And then we're training to build muscle because we want more muscle. More muscle means more fat being burned, more calories being used. And then once we maybe hit our first stall, then it's like, hey, let's start decreasing some calories, and we have some room to go, right? Um, that's my advice right there. Hard to grow lower quads. Very hard to do. That's very different. Four-range of motion. There's the easiest answer for you. Make sure you get a lot of knee over toe. Here's your foot. Here's my knee. Needs to be like this, right? Then we have this like nice like knee flexion. We're getting a lot of but it's hard for you to the lower knee or quad not to work. It's kind of weird. I'd be like doing a bicep curl and you're like the top part of my bicep isn't big. It's like impossible to just makes your four-range of motion. Do you still think there is three parts to the chest? Okay, so here's how it works, guys. The chest does shoulder flexion, extension, adduction. If you look on site, whatever, when you're doing extension, it works through extension at a flexed position. So while my hand is sitting here, chest don't do shit. While I'm up here and there's weight to be pulled down, that's when the chest works. Mario fan. Is there such thing as dense muscle look? No. Which is being built 5 to 10 reps. So there is Doc Mike did a dope video on this, but there isn't like a dense look. The muscle isn't dense, or you know what I mean? Like there's nothing to make the muscle harder or dense looking. And that's I think the bodybuilding industry, that's our fault for creating those types of that kind of terminology. He's dense looking. I think the dense look is a very steroid diet looking thing, right? When you have minimal body fat, the nitrogen's high, your testosterone's high, and the muscles push up against the skin, and you're grainy, you have this dense look. It's a look. Nothing is creating. You can't make muscle more denser than anything, right? So you can make it bigger. You can volumize it by having more, I would say, like blood in there, by having a pump and lactic acid and glycogen and whatnot. But dense itself, no. Sorry. What do you think as what to do as skinny fat? So muscle, right? Skinny fat is a result of you're for the most part, skinny fat is a result of somebody dieting and not putting building muscle in the forefront of their mind to that approach. And that is not your fault at all. That is I've been training, I've been in this industry forever. I've been coaching for 20 years plus. I've been coaching bodybuilders for 10 years. When it comes to general pop and their goals, it's always been the same type of thing. I want to lose fat first, and then I want to gain some muscle. And that's only because that's what people think, that's how it's done. And I understand that. It makes a lot of sense, right? I want to lose fat first, and then I want to gain some muscle, because they don't really think they can do it at the same time. So skinny fat is a person cutting out all their calories, doing a bunch of exercise maybe, and then they've lost weight but not fat, right? It's that approach. I want to lose fat, not weight, because weight includes fat and muscle. So when it comes to you building, switch your approach to your training. I need to build more muscle. I need to train each muscle group twice a week at least. 10 to 20 hard sets. Go to failure once or twice, throughout the week or whatever, or like at least train hard or close enough to failure, and make sure we're eating enough protein, eat enough fats, eat enough fiber to help with building muscle. And then we can kind of reverse the effects of skinny fat, because skinny fat just means like you're lacking muscle, right? Just add more muscle. I'm gonna go to the bottom again, guys. My bad. Appreciate you guys. If you want to go back again and send some to the bottom. Do I need to change up my routine now being post menopause at 43? I lift weights 5 days a week. Lift cardio, 4 days a week, hit 1 day a week, and stretch mobility right now. Changing your, Trista, great question. Um, when it comes to your overall like training, I wouldn't say you need to change your training more so than just manage your stress levels and your recovery, if anything else. I have a client that's going through at the beginning stages of menopause, and it's just you have to just be very cautious and then aware of your energy levels and where they're at. Long as your like nutrition is gonna do a lot of the help for you, obviously. Keeping your fats high, I would say 30% of your fats coming from your caloric intake. And then, guess this, like I said, managing stress and proper recovery is going to be your best approach moving forward. Do you have to change things in terms of like train less hard or less intense? Not at all. Intensity and effort can be an easy constant. It's load that makes the biggest change when it comes to intensity and effort. Do we need to force loads, when you're training at our age? No. Even at the young age, you don't. You really don't. When it comes to necessary, again, what is necessary to build muscle? Do we need to train closer to 85% of warm-up max to build muscle? We don't. You can do anything between, I would say, 60 to 70% of warm-up max. So just look at that in terms of your training, stress management, recovery, just being aware of that, and you're fine. What is the best split and the rest resetting that goes with each training split? What is the best rest each one? That's a very hard question to ask because it's very individual. Put it this way. You can do let's start a 6 day split, right? I usually tell people to do, when I'm suggesting, depending on their training, when you're starting off, let's say 6 day split, push pull legs. Take your break at the end on your 7th day, take a break, right? And then as you go, if you find that, my bad. And as you continue your split throughout your meso, if you're starting to feel a little more beat up, take that break in between your first set of push pull legs, right? And then if you start feeling a little beat up from then maybe you're taking a break at every push pull legs break, and like that. And then take deload if you want to. When it comes to 5 days a week, same thing for me. Right? If you're gonna train 5 days a week, depending, I would say 5 day split. Train all 5 days, and then take those 2 days off. If you're finding yourself getting a little more beat up and more tired, do your first. You can take your first break. Do your first set of 3, and then take a break in that 4th day, and then do the other 2 days and take a break again like that. So I would say that if anything, you just want to gauge your rest based on how you feel, right? We can definitely train 6 days in a row, take a break. We could train 5 days in a row, take a break. We could train 4 days in a row, take a break. Do that until you start feeling your body needing to take more of a rest. Break those days up. Again, some of the rest too is going to be determined by your schedule, right? Your schedule just might have you just might have to take your breaks on certain days. When I'm scheduling or programming for my athletes, when it comes down to their program itself, it's based on number one, goals, to their actual availability to train for that goal. So if they're like, I want to build muscle and I can only train 5 days a week, and these are the days I can only train on, then the days that you can't train, those are going to be your rest days, right? So, yeah. Answer that. Johnny, thank you for the help. I'm 48, 6 foot. Yeah, I know you're 11% body fat. Nice. Hammer down. Looking to do another show for October. I'll call you. Yeah, hit me up. 11% body fat. You want to do a show in October? That's a great body fat to be at right now. That's an easy prep. That's a great prep. Like anything, if you can stay, like, rule of thumb for me, I've been 15%, no more than 15% for like a decade, and it makes prep that much easier when you don't have to lose that much fat. So like I would say keep refining your weight. That 11%. Continue to build onto that, and make it look better and better. And then when prep starts, you don't have to lose that much. Question: I'm 6'8". Gee, basketball player, me. Hopefully, it's 240, 274, 19% body fat. Focus on building a business and not fitness over the last 5 years. Small amount of skinny fat now on the stomach. Would like to lose that and build muscle. Maintain calories plus minus. So here's easy, very easy for you, man. And this is for me. Sorry, I don't want to sound condescending, but um 90% body fat. So I just basically said, I've been 50% body fat. And let me give you an idea, guys. This is 15% body fat for sure, right? This is what I look like at 50% body fat. 90% body fat to 50% body fat, right? For 5 pounds, lose 5 pounds. I mean, 5% of 274, which would be 27. So like we're 30, it's like maybe like 15-ish pounds, right? Half of that. I mean, like that would be around that, I would say. So 27, 28, 14 pounds would put you down. So again, when it comes to it, what are you doing for moving itself, right? So before we start cutting calories, let's just see what we're doing in terms of moving. If you're not moving that much in terms of like, yeah, you're training, but if you're not doing any cardio, let's go to cardio first before we start dicing out calories. If you go to bed late, like 2 or 3 a.m., but still get up but still get 8 hours of sleep, will it affect weight loss or muscle? No, because yeah, okay, so like, yeah, yes and no. I say yes and no because your circadian rhythm is based on like all of our circadian rhythm is based on the sun going up, the sun going down. But as long as we're resting enough, like sleeping enough so our body can go into that state of recovery, GH release, yada yada, then we can lose. Here's an example, prime example. During prep for me, I would say when I was prepping for open class, when I was on trend, the works, right? And I was down in calories. I would get to bed and have the worst of sleep. I would probably maybe get 5 hours of sleep a night. I remember I'd go to bed at 2:50 and wake up at 2:50. And then it wouldn't be until I had a couple bowel movements and whatever else, and my weight would go down. And that's going to sleep at the right time, and whatnot. Your sleep is going to affect how many calories you lose. You should be able to like vaporize. Basically, how you burn fat at nighttime is you lose it through vapor. Basically, you should be able to lose about 3 to 5 pounds a night from sleeping. Right. So as long as you're getting rest and you're rested, it doesn't necessarily matter because again, we have I'm assuming that you have a schedule like your work schedule is probably you work at midnights or whatever it is. Our body has to adjust to it. So make sure you're sleeping. You're fine. What exercise do you recommend if experiencing knee pain but want to lose weight and gain muscle? Well, here's the thing. Knee pain is one thing, right? So like I'll give you an example. For me, I'm ACL deficient. I don't have an ACL on my right knee, and I'm pretty sure I have hip bursitis right now. There are things that I know that I can do that are low impact, right? So biking can help out with your knee, right? The constant poundage of like, cardio, whether it's stepping, a step mill, or like, walking, that could cause some poundage onto the joint. So I would recommend doing cardio exercise that have less impact. So like elliptical, a bike, even sometimes a rower, right? And then, as it gets better, you can kind of go up from there. And then, just keep things a little more, your intensity a little higher from that. So, and then again, when it comes to the actually training, I would just be very cautious of how much you do with that knee. Again, if it's actually bugging you that much, when it comes to resistance training, do not just wait until it's there, until it's ready. You can do, leg extensions and leg curls, light, higher rep range for more of a physiotherapy type-esque of training to help strengthen the muscle around the knee. That's the only reason why I can function at a high level without an ACLs because I have strong supporting muscles in my hamstrings, my quads. So, I wouldn't recommend squatting or heavy leg pressing. I would say doing stuff like that for now until it's better and then scale up from there. What is the best training split and what does the rest and reset of each split? I think I answered that question already. I did. I'm the GOAT. I appreciate that, man. I got a long way to be before a GOAT, but I appreciate it, man. I'm a teen and I'm kind of chubby. Should I bulk to get more muscle or cut? Don't bulk, don't cut. You're who you are as a teen. And like, I'm gonna tell you right now, teen, what's your name? What's your name? Seuss? I don't know. We're gonna call you Seuss, right? Train. When I was in high school, I had a coach when I was young. So, but when I was in high school, I wasn't worrying about losing weight or bulking. I want to be in the gym. I want to build muscle. That's what I want to do. And that's your focus, right? You get to be ahead of the game from all of us and all the mistakes that we've made being as young as you are. Don't worry about, cutting or bulking. Don't worry about your look. Or think more so about being healthy. Train, go to the gym and lift, hypertrophy, get stronger, gain more muscle. If you're already chubby right now, we don't have to bulk, right? What we can just do is switch our approach to training. Go in the gym, high intensity, training smart, 400 motion, make sure you're adding a rep or some weight on a week to week basis. It's going to be weight, it's going to be reps before it's weight, and just work on that, right? You're at a great place in your life now where you're going to heal a lot quicker, you're going to build muscle a lot quicker, you're growing, think that. Now, I would say like chubby wise, be active, right? It's super simple. I'm not saying go to the gym and start doing hours of cardio, be active. You're in high school, I don't know what sports are involved, whatever, join a team. Do some kind of extracurricular, 100%. The reason why a lot of us, I say us because I'm 41 this year and I didn't have a game console at home to do whatever. The reason why a lot of my generation look the way we do is because a lot of time we spent outside, either I played minor football, baseball. I ran track in high school. I did everything. So be active and then train and don't worry about that stuff, man. At all. Just keep working your butt off. I'd answer this question down here. Thank you for the answer, man. Yeah, I only have fat in my stomach area. Just got home, gym finished, clinic I went to, did test and said calorie maintenance was 227, 2,500. Cool. Just started a 6A VPL, no basketball. By the way, played tight end. Heck yeah, there you go. You know what's up. So yeah, I mean, that that fat around the stomach, that's just for us men, man. That's just where the fat is gonna linger for us. And I think it's just like a matter of just increasing the overall cardio a bit, and that'll help out. 2,700 calorie. If that's what you're eating right now, and your body weight isn't going anywhere, money. Then we just increase your cardio, or maybe we subtract some of your calories. But if you're already going down to that 2,700, 2,500 calories, I would just stay there and then let things continue. Again, we always want to revisit what are we doing in terms of cardio. Are we doing cardio? Are we not doing cardio? How active are we? And we can't use training as our source of fat burning. We can't have that as it's going to burn fat because we're using calories too for energy to create stimulus. But we want to prioritize that for building muscle. And again, the more muscle you build, the more fat you're going to lose. Do I need a calorie surplus to build muscle? If so, how many calories? I'm 19, around 12 to 50% body fat. So no, I'm glad you said that. If you are, studies have shown, if you are in that 12 to 15% body, even 60% body, anything over that, but either way, if you're 12 to 50% body fat, you don't have to be, you can build muscle as is with that. So you can gain there, I would say, right? So don't eat more food you don't need to. I would say just continue maxing out what you're doing in terms of training and building muscle within that fat, within that calorie, I mean that body fat percentage. You can build muscle there. You don't, there's no need for you to, you know, add a bunch of more calories. Now, if you are do it to the tune of 100 calories at a time, what does 100 calories look like? A tablespoon of peanut butter. As easy as that. How does muscle percent and body fat relate to each other? What? How's muscle? Oh, are they independent of one? It goes down. Okay, um, so basically, think like there's a. It's like it's hard to explain. So there's your overall lean body mass. There's your overall fat mass, right? Your body fat percentage is basically how much, what percent of your body has fat and what other percent of that is lean muscle tissue, right? So if you get like your body fat percentage done and it says, you know, you're 15% body fat, it then might say that your lean body mass might be 180 pounds depending, right? So your body fat percentage is going to be basically of that. How much of your body has fat? That much percentage. Okay, that percentage means that this is how much lean tissue you have, because there's skeletal muscle mass, there's, you know, your lean muscle mass, then there's your overall body fat mass. There's a bunch of other variables that are there. So they're if your body so again, like they are dependent of each other, right? Because your body fat percentage can go down, right? But you want your body fat percentage to go down and your lean muscle tissue go up. And sometimes it's usually what happens is like when my body fat percentage goes down, my lean muscle tissue goes up. So put it this way: if you're 50% body fat and you don't eat any more food, like you're sticking at that, your maintenance calories is resulting in you being 15% body fat, and then you put on 3 or 4 pounds of lean muscle tissue, that body fat percentage is probably going to decrease if you don't put on any extra calories on top of the food you're eating. Um, question. Oh, oh yeah, you're awesome. My man Joey. Um, how do you find your percentage? It's so here's a really annoying part with that. Um, Number one, you can go to the doctor. Sometimes they might have something there to measure your body fat. Most of the time, they don't. Sometimes your gym will have like a uh what's it called, in-body machine. The in-body, like, let me just give you every single body fat percentage or body fat measuring tool is going to be skewed, right? All DEXA scans, calipers, in-body things you hold on your hands, whatever, they're all going to be skewed. The important thing is that if you do have or find something like that, something, as long as you could do the same measurement again and again, it will give you at least like a measurable or a variable, right? Consistently. So if I, for instance, I do my client's body fat with calipers, right? I'll always use calipers all the time. And that number, I know, depending if I do there's a 3 point, 4 point, 5 point, 7 point body fat test you can do with calipers. I'll do the 4 point one I've been doing forever. The Durham Worsley measurable, whatever, that fat test. That I know is skewed, 100%. What's important is that I get a number that's consistent. So if I am always measuring their body fat with calipers and they're 50% body fat, and then now they're 10% body fat, and then they're on the way down to like whether doing show prep or whatever, I know at least that we have a measurable that's there. Consistency or accuracy, they're never accurate. None of them are accurate at all. They're just not, right? Unfortunately, what's important is that they're consistent at least. So yeah, that matters. Bro, is 5 reps enough to build muscle on weighted pull-ups? Yes. Yeah. I say like yes. Yeah, because again, we're doing pull-ups. We want to be in that stretch, so like make sure you're getting out in that stretch. But like anything in between like 5 to 30 reps, you can build muscle. The difference is going to be of how long it's going to take, right? So something like pull-ups is like, when you're in a hang doing pull-ups, there's going to be a lot of tension tension is going to be very, very, very high with weighted pulls there. Now, again, I would say, can you like take away that weight? How many pull-ups are you doing then? Because if you're taking away the weight you're using and you're doing 20 pull-ups, okay, so how much weight are you putting on to do 5? Why not add weight so you're doing 10? You know what I mean? The more reps, sorry, the longer duration you can do in terms of like the load being at a good moderate weight, the more muscle you can build overall. And it's very individual as well too, right? So yeah, you can build muscle at five reps with weight. You could also build muscle at 20 reps with no weight, right? It's for some individuals it might take longer than others, but yeah, 100%. Just make sure you're getting that long 400 motion, you know. But good for you, man. Came out of nowhere. Do I need calorie surplus to build muscle? If so, no, you don't. We talked about it already. Thanks for asking questions again, guys. Do I need calorie surplus? Yeah, I said again. Alan, you do not need to add any calories to build muscle at all. Reverse diet for post show. Any suggestions? Watch your so yes, the post show is sometimes very, very hard because hunger is so high, yet your stomach is so small. And anything you eat over is going to be put in the fat stores ASAP. So the best advice I give to people when it comes over, even my athletes, is when we're going back, that we're continuing to make sure that we're doing cardio, we're training in that, you know, the volume, because we want calories to be burning all the time, and then eating of protein, majority protein and fats to help with satiation and pulling muscle back on. If you start dipping into carbs like instantly, if you're just like, if your majority of your caloric intake is carbs after doing a show, losing, you know, cutting water, not cutting water, but you know, your water is down, your overall body fat's down, everything's down, and you decide to flush it a bunch of carbs after, by the Wednesday post show, you're gonna have fat ankles and you'll be super depressed and you're not gonna like it. So, like I said, take your time, make sure you're doing your cardio still, make sure you're training still. Do your best to not just dilly dally into a bunch of like junk, because again, your hunger, like what happens to you post show, and this is what happens to everybody. Your body again doesn't know what you're doing in life at all. Only you consciously know 1 to 6 things that you can actually pay attention to. So when you're in a deficit, or in your calories deficit or whatever, or a contest prep transformation, and you're decreasing calories slowly, your body thinks that that there's a famine, right? We got to think evolution. Your body thinks, shit, there's a famine, you know, whatever. As soon as that famine is done and you eat food and it's realizing it's getting more food than before, ghrelin receptor that makes you want to eat food is extremely high, because it's telling you, go hunt, go hunt, go hunt. That's basically what your body's saying. So because of that, super high, hunger is extremely high. And guess what? You just can't, you can, entertain that and satisfy that hunger. But once you start eating, your ghrelin is not going to go off like it normally did before. So right now, for all of us who aren't, maybe some of us here aren't prepping for anything, when you're eating a normal amount of food, your calories are where they should be, your metabolism is basically normal, and you eat some food, you're like, oh man, I'm full, right? Leptin, your hormones like, hey, you're full, stop eating, and you stop eating, right? When it comes to post contest prep, ghrelin is super high and leptin is super low. So when it comes to that, eat satiating foods, high in fiber, protein, fats, do your cardio, train with good intensity, get a great pump, get that good, those influx of calories coming back in, put those to use, but take it slow, add calories on a week-to-week basis as you continue. I'm 6'2", 265 pounds. I do have a lot of muscle, but the past few months I have been sitting around. Is there a macro counter you would suggest? I need to clear my diet more. I'm gonna go with my boy Jeff Nippard, not sponsored by him at all. I don't even have his app, but the macro factor is pretty good. If you don't want to do that, there's a free version of MyFitnessPal that I use, just for tracking calories when I do. But that's, I would say that empty stomach weight training is good. I train on empty stomach all the time, as long as you're fueling after. Sometimes, guys, in life, you have to your schedule is just gonna. That's how it is. Every single day I wake up around like 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:35 in the morning, and then I train with my client right after. So, and then I train her husband, and then I come, then I eat. So, like again, like, is it optimal? If I had to, if I, is training fed better than fasted? I would say for the most part, yeah. Is it a make or break? No, it's not, because your body's gonna acclimate and get in. It's gonna use the calories, right? Again, it's using the calories from the night before as well too, right? So, um, if you can train with fed, train fed, right? But if your lifestyle just doesn't allow it, it's not going to kill you either, right? It's not going to make or break your gains. What will make or break your gains is if you train and then you don't eat anything after or at all, like for a bit. So if you train in the morning, like myself, and I get home and I don't eat for another 6, 7 hours, that's not going to help my overall goals. Is there a magical cure for my inconsistent laziness and lack of discipline? There isn't a cure, but there is things you can do to help with that. And it's creating reward system. I'm actually going to be doing a video on how to do the opposite of that. It's just it's creating good habits. And the reason why there's laziness is because anything that our body does in terms of like habit is because there's a reward for it, right? Everything our body does, every habit that we have accumulated, everything that anything that makes us do the same things all the time, there's a reward system for it. So when we want to break bad habits or get out of those, slumps of being lazy, we have to create a reward system for ourselves so our body gets used to that and wants more and more and more of it. And I will do a video on that. But yeah, well, yeah, we can talk about that there, that video. Literally, your name just shows you a troll. Okay, my name shows I don't get that one. Can you explain that one? Question. I'm gonna go on the bottom again, guys. If I get stronger on my lifts but eat in a deficit, will I get bigger? No. Unfortunately, you won't. You can sustain, as long as you eat enough protein, you'll sustain muscle. Um, Let me take it back. Let me take it back. Let me take that back. Depends where your body fat percentage is, right? If you're eating in a deficit and you have 20% body fat, and you're eating enough protein, you can put on muscle. If you're in a contest prep and you're at 8% body fat and you're trying to put on muscle, not gonna happen. So sorry I said that first one. I make sure I made that clear. Does an increased fat intake impact the ability of your body to consume proteins? No, and I'm assuming you're talking about fat, like good fats, because those two bad boys work real good together, right? You think about like fats, and if you think about like the macronutrient fat, um, increasing cognitive health, all those things. What is and immune system? What do protein do? Similar things as well too. Those two things together. mwah. Newbie, 1.5 years in the gym. Congratulations, keep it up, man. Right shoulder started to feel achy, crunchy with bench dips, etc. Should I keep lifting with stuff and do? Um, should I keep lifting with stuff that don't hurt the shoulder as much? Flies. So here's a couple things. And this is definitely makes sense for someone like yourself, new, and then all of a sudden things are, starting to ache and some pains. Number one, are we resting enough? Two, where are calories at, for helping with our overall recovery? Let's just say the nutrition, the resting part of recovery and hydration is all there. How's your form, right? Let's just say your form isn't the issue. Okay, let's go from there. Like that's we have to kind of do the process of elimination when it's there, right? So after all that's said and done, let's just say you're like myself. My form is good. I do rest when I need to, and all of a sudden I got something achy, and what's happening? Well, for me, I do all my stretching, I do my manual tissue work. What haven't I done in the longest time? I haven't seen my osteo or my massage therapist in a couple months, and the places that I can't do my own manual tissue work in terms of like when I mean tissue work, like rolling, um, whatnot, cupping for myself. I can do grassing for myself. Those things I can't do on my own, that my massage or my osteo can do. I know that that's one of the reasons why I'm not recovering in those places that I used to recover for before more. So it's like my shoulder right now isn't recovering like it used to. Now, do I avoid exercises? I do avoid some that are 100% going to give me pain if the pain is unbearable, right? If I have like if I feel that, if my strength isn't being affected by it, like meaning like this right now does not hurt whatsoever. If I put a load onto it and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not sorry, we're not training that. We're not doing that," right? Can I get away with it by doing other exercises? 100% I can. And I will. Um, but other than that, yeah, I would say like just, when it comes to injuries, beginner or intermediate, I don't really care what level you're at. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do in terms of obviously enough calories and protein, water, rest. Mobility is a massive thing, right? When I talk to everybody, most of the time when I talk to somebody about they're getting nagging out of nowhere injuries, I ask them like, "Hey, where's mobility and stretching on your priority list?" And like, I don't really do that much, and I'm like, there you go. So get down to there. We'll go another couple minutes, guys, because I gotta run and get some work done. I'll try and answer the most of these questions as I can. Start firing them off. I'm gonna start with my boy Kate here. I counted my calories down to a T and found my maintenance calories. I'm 5'9", 180, and my maintenance is 3,100 calories. Makes a lot of sense. Um, I have abs, and I can see three distinct sections of my quads. I am struggling to gain weight. So if you're so like there, that's when I would say that yeah, let's add a little bit of calories to, and again, when it comes to it, it doesn't mean you have to add 500 calories, right? You can add calories to the tune of 100 to 250 calories. And, adding those if it's like I'm too full type thing or whatever, and you're scared about quantities, adding fats, right? Fats can make up a lot of ground because they take up, double the calories that protein and carbs do. So like it could be as easy as adding 2 tablespoons of peanut butter or whatever nut butter to your diet, olive oil, whatever, good oils like that, or a combination of both. A cup of rice is 220-ish calories, right? 22, around that calorie wise. So I would say that starting off slow, adding on a daily basis, watching your body on a week to week, making sure that you can still see your definition. If you start seeing definition starting to slide and go away, increase your cardio by a little bit, right? I always like having cardio in my clients' training just to manage overall fat plus the benefits of cardiovascular health. Intermediate, trying to maintain decent physique on a 4-day, 4-hour session a week. I'm gonna say that's 4 days. 4 days, 4 hours of each, or 1 hour each. Good compounds or supersets to fit and to keep aesthetics strong while being busy at life. Um, that works. I'm gonna assume you're doing a 4-day split. I always say that for me, the bare minimum for to be able to still build muscle consistently, making sure you eat enough food and whatnot, and the calories and whatnot. Like I'm gonna say it over and over again. I think 4 day a week is good enough for sure. You can easily hit each muscle group twice. It just makes sure your programming allows you to do so. So your first, I would say like if you're gonna do like a 4-day split, push pull in one day, you can do a push pull legs push pull in one day, or you can do a push pull like upper body, like superset, and then legs, and then your second push pull can be like a shoulder superset with back, and then legs again, and then you basically have like a 6 day or a push pull legs condensed into 4 days. When talking about recovery and getting 8 hours of sleep, if the sleep is broken up, is it really that bad? Or as long as you're so the problem with breaking up sleep is um, and I know a lot of this because sleep for me was an issue before. It's the quality of sleep you're getting. Someone can have 8 hours. Someone could be in bed for 8 hours and their eyes closed and sleeping, but really only really be sleeping for like four, right? So the reason why it's good to get like 8 hours of sleep is because like you'll probably out of those 8 hours get 6 hours of real rest, right? If you're now again, if you're breaking up your sleep and this say you're doing 4 hours of each and you could get zonked right out in 4 hours and have a really good sleep and you're rested, maybe, but like it's gonna be hard to for someone to really just like close their eyes and then get into that like REM deep sleep was what you want to get. Like that deep sleep is where you get a lot of the magic happens in terms of like your body recovering, your brain be able to recover, and whatnot. So, if you can sleep, if you can get those sleep, if anything, 6 hours minimum, try to. Thoughts on incorporating creatine in your routine? 100%. 3 to 5 grams a day, absolutely awesome. It's great for building muscle, but it's also great for your cognitive health. Remember that creatine isn't just for muscle, it's for the brain. 100% add creatine. Thanks for that, Cade. Um, Thanks for answering those questions. Why do I feel good muscle soreness? Why don't I feel good muscle soreness anymore? Did I not push? No, muscle soreness isn't a good indicator whether or not you had a good training session. It just means your body's been acclimated to your training output, your stimulus. Right now, check this out. You want to feel some pain in your, some good soreness. Switch up your, I would say your not your workout itself, but you can switch up your set and rep scheme, make it more intense. Let's say you're doing 8 to 10 reps, push it to 15 to 20 and see what happens. I'm dead serious. Your body, when you first start training, your body goes through that stage of like adaptation. Adaptation is going to cause some soreness. When your body's adapted, there's no more soreness. But what you want to feel, right, more so than I'm not sore, is what you want to feel is lactic acid and a pump. Do you feel a pump in the gym, or do you feel do you get lactic acid buildup that makes you not, it forces you to stop training in terms of like the sets, right? So when you're training, you're doing rep after rep after rep, more muscles being pumped in, that sore feeling, that pain feeling of like, oh, I can't go anymore, that lactic acid buildup, or that and the pump is an indicator that muscle hypertrophy is actually happening. Growth is actually taking place there. So that's what you should focus on more so than if you're sore or not. So if you feel a pump and you're getting lactic acid buildup, great, you're building muscle. I figure my macros on a calendar and I never know what activity amount should I put. I've been told always pick sedentary, but I walk 3 to 4. Yeah, like for honestly, like I always look at more so like just grab your BMR from it. Like get your base. Don't grab any of the things, because again, it's not accurate. It's just grabbing an equation. So I would say like just find your BMR, or your maintenance, right? I would say like just whatever the drop down is, just find maintenance, and if maintenance is there, track calories yourself to see if that is accurate, and then go from there. Um, Love your content. Thanks for spending your time. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Hi, I'm 6 foot 238 pounds, 27% body fat. I started lifting 3 weeks ago, and I'm making good strength gains every week, but I really want to lose weight. Which should I focus on? Love it. Great. See you guys. Told you. Got the question. Great question, buddy. Focus on building muscles still. And then you can, again, when you look at your training, great. Stick with your training. Stick with your training. Continue to want to put on muscle, 4 range of motion, fight the bar, all those good things. Now look at our nutrition. What does our nutrition look like? Are we at maintenance, right? We're at 20% body fat. You want to get down to say 15% body fat, 10% body fat at least you need to lose. So you got to lose 23 pounds, right? So get yourself in a deficit of, a pound to a pound and a half a week. What does it look like? If you're not doing any cardio, add cardio. What's cardio going to do? And this is for everybody. Cardio is going to help you burn fat 100%, but it's also going to help you recover better when it comes to your training overall. Your heart, the stronger your heart is, the more resilient your heart is, the more you can train, the longer you can go, the faster you will recover. Cardio is not just about losing fat. It's all the other things that it does that benefits your overall training. So lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Your body is in a surplus. You need to put your nutrition maybe in a slight deficit, but make sure you're actually doing enough, output like cardio to help with that deficit as well too. A lot of people say they have trouble gaining weight, but don't track calories. Thank you. A lot of that, right? Again, here's my analogy, guys, and I'll answer all the questions when it comes to gaining muscle, whatever. Nobody here, especially in Canada, since the carbon taxes went up, and I hear a lot of Americans complaining about how much our gas is so expensive, which is not compared to Canada, but none of us go like this when we're putting gas in our car. None of us do. We're either staring at the thing to make sure, all right, then we're kind of clicking to make sure we get the exact amount, or we're filling it right up, right? You're not going to do this when you put fuel in your car, so you can't do that when you're putting fuel into your body. So you have to learn how to count calories, at least for a bit, so you understand what portions look like. And that's the main reason why you track calories. So you know how much you're putting in, and so you know how much you need to take out or whatever. And then you get to start matching calories per meal, and you're like, okay, this amount of food or calories equals what I'm visually seeing here in terms of food. 350 calories, or put it this way, 500 calories of a whole food meal is like, oh my gosh, that's huge. And then you look at like a Lenny and Larry's cookie that's 350 calories, you're like, holy shit. Now I'm seeing the difference in calories and portions. That's why you want to do that. So when it comes to calories, count your calories. If you don't know how much fat you're gaining or how much whatever it is, and you're not counting calories, your answer is that. Anyway, guys, I do got to run. Thank you, guys. I will do this again. Man, you guys are quick. I feel like I'm trying to answer these questions so much, guys. But couple of things, guys. Join my Discord. It's on. I'll add it to my community. My Discord is there. My school community. I do weekly lives like this. Join my school community. It's $25 a month. All of my ebooks are all there for free. I'm doing courses on there as well too. Everything's there. It's probably the least expensive way to get coaching from me and building that community, and more to come there. So guys, either way, come here. Either way, I'll be here. But until next time, guys, I appreciate you guys. Leave your questions until next time. Put them into the chat or even here, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. Have a chicken wing. Appreciate you guys. Did I answer everybody's question who actually sent over funds? Because I want to make sure I did. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all. Until next time, guys, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, guys, head over to johnishu.com and get yourself an ebook, one-time coaching plan, or a 1-hour consult with me. Love you guys. Take care. God bless. And happy belated Easter.